Yo, what's up, Internet? We're back with another one. Let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about the dead internet theory. It's showtime.
The dead internet theory relies on the idea that the internet as we knew it died back in 2016, and since then, everything we see online is artificially generated content created to gaslight the entire world. Now, when you first hear that, you might think it's just another conspiracy, which it is, but it is one that has some truth to it. Every day, the line between human creation and machine creation gets a little bit more blurred. Timothy Shoup from the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies predicts that by 2026, 99% of the internet will be generated by artificial intelligence. And to give you an idea of this, take a look at ChatGPT. You can create a week's worth of blog or Twitter content in just 5 minutes. Now, imagine what that might look like in 5 years with just how fast things are upgrading. So no, the internet isn't dead yet, but there are some things we need to work out to prevent it from dying.
Why did that song sound so like triumphant? He's like talking about the downfall of civilization and humanity, and it's like diddly 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 diddly. It's happy, happy fun time. The internet is fake. Bah, bah, bah.
I haven't put together all of this in any formal sense. It's just been bouncing around my head. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to because I don't even know if I should, for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into. So, for example, there were dozens of different accounts that were spamming doxes that were supposedly mine across Twitter, and these accounts were up for over 48 hours. And I reported them, and nothing, like literally 48 hours, these accounts aren't taken down. Elon, for some reason, catches my tweet or catches a tweet about me from not even a large account, and my account ends up getting demonetized on Twitter in like 2 hours. I'm like, holy shit. I don't know why billionaire Elon Musk is like catching the attention of my Twitter account and is like, seems to be putting his thumb on the scale. That's just very strange to me. Something that I noticed that was very strange, and if you were in chat, you noticed this, that there are a ton of these accounts they're just bots. But like, everybody always says that like a lot of Twitter is botted, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm sure they're a bunch of like random whatever fuck accounts. But I've never really like quantified it before or thought about it before. But there are, and some of them, but there are so many of these accounts. They all would talk in a certain type of manner, and some of them, they're generally programmed, I think, to only respond to themselves so that they build engagement and they look real. So many of their accounts, if you scroll through their media, they end up like looking like this. They post like the same image over and over and over and over and over again. If you 100% have identified one as a bot, then you just have to see who responds to them and who they respond to. Here's an account. This guy here, this is not a real person.
That's one thing I'm really bad at as far as being a YouTuber, is paying attention to other YouTubers. I was kind of the same way. I was in the marketing industry for over a decade, and I was really bad at knowing who everyone else like followed and like looked up to. Just never really paid attention to that. So let me know if there are any other YouTubers that I should kind of look into, maybe like watch their content or react to some of their content, or just somebody you think that I would enjoy watching. But yeah, there are bots everywhere, dude, and just there to seemingly just to discredit people when they make points that are opposing whatever goal that platform is kind of pushing toward at that time. No idea where it's going to go from here.
Everybody is wrong about the dead internet theory, and it's way worse than you think it is. Take everything that you know about dead internet theory out of your head, crumple it up, and throw it away. Seriously, although it sounds terrifying, the dead internet theory is becoming more significant in media and more prevalent with the notable advancement of modern AI. The modern conception of dead internet theory is basically the internet is overrun by bots and generated content, like the classic "I hate texting" tweets that you might have seen on Twitter about random bots just tweeting out "I hate texting" and those tweets getting an unreasonable amount of likes. Or maybe you've seen the weird AI generated content online that's like crocodile Jesus, kids in Africa bottle sculpture type of shit, and it gets a ridiculous amount of obviously bot likes and comments. And that's typically what people default to when they think about dead internet theory, but it is grossly misunderstood. You're not wrong, those are bots. The dead internet theory is massively misunderstood, significantly more sinister than it seems, and functions in a different way than you might think. To further my point a little bit more, let's look at an Explain Like I'm 5 post from Reddit, Eli5, to get a quick glance at the common consensus. Eli5, what is dead internet theory? It's a term I've heard come up a lot in recent times, but I can't really find any simplified explanation of what it actually is. The top post with 3K upvotes says, "The idea is the entire internet is all bots talking to each other. There are no people on the internet. You are here all alone, being besieged by bots while thinking that you're surrounded by people." Seems like a bit of a dramatic explanation, but again, that's entirely wrong. I'm gonna read you the exact definition of dead internet theory from the wiki. The dead internet theory is an online conspiracy theory that asserts the internet now consists mainly of bot activity and automatically generated content manipulated by algorithmic curation, marginalizing organic human activity to manipulate the population. Proponents of the theory believe these bots were created intentionally to help manipulate algorithms and boost search results in order to manipulate consumers. Some proponents of the theory accuse government agencies of using bots to manipulate public perception. The date given for this death was generally around 2016 or 2017. Upon reading the dead internet theory Wikipedia, I had a few questions, because on the surface level it sounds so silly. After all, most of the supporting evidence is actual trash, like using predictions as evidence? Seriously. And only one piece of these supporting evidences that I've found, everything I found, can actually answer any questions I've had about the dead internet theory. Everything else is just unsubstantiated or completely anecdotal. How dead is the internet, and how do we define dead? How do we define bot? What metrics are we using to determine what internet traffic actually is? Data sent? User minutes? Twitter measures their traffic in user minutes. The best evidence to support this theory that actually answers the questions that I've had is the 2016 Imperva bot traffic report, which makes the claim over 50% of the internet is bot traffic. But how do we define traffic? Right away, we can look at this infographic they put out, and we can go into the bottom right-hand corner and look at the methodology here and see the data presented herein is based on a sample of over 16.7 billion bot and human visits collected from August 9th, 2016 to November 6th, 2016. The traffic data came from 100,000 randomly chosen domains on the Incapsula network. So we'll do some rounding. Almost 17 billion bot and human visits from 100,000 randomly chosen domains over a roughly 3-month period on a very specific cloud sharing network. Right away, we're blowing away a major misconception about dead internet theory. So when we hear people say around 50% of the internet is bots, we're not talking about tweets, we're not talking about Facebook posts, we're not talking about bots talking to each other on social media or you being alone in the void. We're talking about website visits that came from this report. This is the biggest piece of substantiating evidence for the dead internet theory, and it's strictly talking about website visits. I've contacted my friend, who we will call Agbi Mocho. He requested to remain anonymous, so I put a voice filter over him, and he's going to explain to us how bot visits normally work, what they look like, how they act. Agbi Mocho actually has significant experience creating bots, language learning machines, using Python, using Selenium, and data analytics. He frequently uses these tools as he's finishing up his master's degree in data science.
So a bot is basically anything automated that mimics human activity. This could be a fake social media account, automated deepfakes, automated phishing attacks, website scrapers, feed fetchers, or even something we use every day, such as a suggestion algorithm. When you search something on Google, you'll be suggested some ads that are tailored specifically to you.
So another part of the dead internet theory that I've heard of was basically just that it used to be a lot more free range. So it used to be more like Wild Wild West. I remember you could, like in the early 2000s, there were like no filters in Google. Like if you could Google a video of someone committing a heinous crime and it would just find it for you. I know, because there's like, if you're my age, I'm older. You remember the Pain Olympics and all the nasty like poop videos that were out back then and just making their rounds. And there was a like rotten.com, which was just like a gore site that was like, I don't know, all the metal kids would look at and stuff. With just like people, you know, after accidents and stuff like that, and pretty gnarly stuff, you know, that curious teenagers and stuff like myself we would look at it. We've never seen anything like that before because the internet was new at the time. So I'm just saying it was like very easy to find stuff because it was much more like open source. Like there was nothing really suggested to you unless you were looking for it. But now with the dead internet theory, basically what they're saying is there's like 5, I guess, like 3 or 5 like websites that people go to, like more than anything, right? It's like Google, it's like Facebook, and like YouTube. And then outside of that, you obviously have other ones like Reddit and a couple other ones, but like there's like the big 3 essentially. They're like all of the traffic that's on the internet basically just circulates through. So based on the algorithms and the suggested content and what they allow and don't allow, it's a lot of the same. Like everybody, basically like 90% of the people that are on the internet are seeing the same things. I definitely oversimplified that, but in a nutshell, that's a big part of it, right? So it's not necessarily dead because of any particular reason. It's just dead because that's just the way that things have gone, as far as like people utilizing the space on the internet and algorithms showing them specific things and creating echo chambers. And it's been very bad. The internet and social media has been very bad for people's psyche, for their mental health in recent years, because we're kind of not in control of what we see most of the time.
So I've come up with something I'm going to call the social media ghost theory, and I'm going to explain it to you using this photo of Egg Jesus right here. So this is another one of those AI generated posts using eggs to make Jesus surrounded by ducks and a little kid that says he made it with his own hands. So there's nothing new about these kind of posts, and it's no surprise that this one has over 400,000 likes. But the question has been, what is this traffic, and who are these people that are liking, sharing, and commenting on these posts? Some of you say they're all bots, some of you say they're boomers who think these posts are real. But I'm going to say that we've reached a point where these photos are so fake that even the craziest, most dementious old person wouldn't believe this is real. So that just leaves bots. Well, let's go to the comments and take a look at actually who's commenting on this post. So based off what we're seeing here in the comments with the amens, the excellence, the good jobs, beautiful work, God bless, it would appear that people believe the photo is real, right? Well, let's focus in on a couple of these profiles and take a look. So first impressions tell me that this is a very, very real person. We have posts that go back 5, 6, 7 years about very real things like these buns that she cooked. Let's take a look at the next one. Once again, this appears to be a very real profile. Here's a picture of her dogs all the way back in 2020. Here's another one. Here's something she was selling all the way back in 2018. So while these do appear to be real profiles, I'm going to argue that they're real people whose accounts have been hacked by clicking on phishing links and that sort of thing. Boomers who have lost control of their accounts to AI, who will now be operating and running these accounts potentially for all eternity on Facebook. So according to the social media ghost theory, is these profiles that belong to real people, they're going to be operated by bots from now forever. So all these boomers who have these active accounts right now that are getting taken over, they're going to pass away and their accounts are going to be run forever. Imagine if you see your grandma's profile posting a comment 10 years after she passed away, commenting amen and how amazing one of these BS photos is. This is very real, and it's already happening on Facebook. My guess, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of profiles already. And what's going to happen with this AI, if we don't get it in check, is that all of Facebook is going to be bots running accounts of dead ghost profiles as actual ghosts of human beings who are no longer alive. And as the AI gets better, I think potentially you could message these accounts, like say, hey grandma, how are you doing? And they'll respond. With critical thinking, decision-making, communication skills, these people will literally go on and live forever. And Facebook's just the tip of the iceberg, the easiest target. This could come for Instagram, it could come on Twitter, maybe even on TikTok when AI video gets better. But anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. Let me know what you guys think.
I mean, yeah, that's fucking wild, dude. I think I seen something actually. I don't know if it was Google AI or whatever, like a year or two ago, where they're basically, you're able to go into VR and like play with like your deceased child or whatever, and it's just based on their likeness. The interactions are based off of what you tell them about the personality. So I think that's a very real possibility. I never thought about that. I never thought about them being hacked accounts. My mom was a boomer, through and through, straight up, as boomer as you can get, and she's had so many accounts hacked, she said, and I never even thought that, you know, they would be hacked to be used to simulate a real person just in order to, you know, kind of push an agenda or push the conversation in a certain direction. That's wild, dude. That's some pretty messed up. That's some Matrix level messed up right there. I just thought, you know, basically they stole people's accounts just to try to mess their friends and, you know, get them to click on phishing links and send them money and stupid stuff like that. But never once did I think that they would be doing that. If that's happening, that is pretty wild and pretty messed up.
What if I told you the internet you know is mostly dead? Yep, you heard me right, dead. So imagine this. You're scrolling through your favorite social media and it hits you. Why do all the comments sound the same? Enter the dead internet theory. This wild idea claims that most of the internet is filled with bots, not real people. Crazy, right? The theory suggests that since around 2016, a majority of the content online has been generated by AI bots. Think about it. Ever notice those eerily similar tweets or repetitive YouTube comments? It's like we're living in a digital ghost town. Pause, chuckle. But why, you ask? Some believe it's to control information and manipulate opinions. Others think it's just a way to keep you engaged and make big bucks. Either way, it's a rabbit hole worth diving into. Of course, not everyone buys into it. Skeptics argue it's just the internet growing up with algorithms and automation. But hey, isn't it fun to imagine the Matrix in our Wi-Fi? Pause, chuckle. So, next time you're online, take a closer look. Are you chatting with a person or a machine? Who knows? Maybe you're part of the Matrix too. Pause, chuckle. Like, share, and follow for more wild theories, and let us know what you think in the comments.
I love how the AI generated video of reading the script, and it's like verbatim reading pause, chuckle, instead of actually pausing and laughing. It's very ironic. Very ironic based on what the topic of this video was.
Fun fact. There's a theory that the internet died around 2016 or 2017, and now it's mostly just bot-generated content and algorithmic manipulation to control the masses. The dead internet theory originated on 4chan in the late 2010s, but became more mainstream around 2021, about a year before the release of ChatGPT, and says we rarely interact with a real human online or see any content that's 100% created by a real person. Instead, the internet's been replaced by mostly AI or bot-generated content and comments meant to sell us products or ideas and manipulate how we perceive our world. It was originally labeled a conspiracy theory, but with the insane rise in AI-generated content, and with ChatGPT essentially ruining social media and replacing any form of true human creativity, the theory is rapidly becoming true. Europol estimates that by 2026, 9 out of every 10 social media posts will be AI-generated.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that being a strong possibility. I was a copywriter, a direct response copywriter for, I still do it sometimes, but like 2017. And there's a lot less need for copywriters nowadays as there was when I started back then, because people are, they have AI writing all their blog posts, all their ads, all their commercial scripts, all that stuff I used to do, right, to make a living. So thank God for YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. That's all I got to say.
How much of the internet is real? That is the question behind the dead internet theory, which asserts that the internet, once alive with genuine human activity, is now filled with only fake accounts, automated bots, and algorithm-driven content. The date given for the death of the internet is generally around 2016 or 2017. This conspiracy theory suggests that companies and governments use bots to manipulate opinions, create trends, and generate fake viral content. Critics argue this theory is exaggerated. After all, bots are common, but so are real people sharing ideas, memes, and cat videos. Still, it raises a question: how much of what we see online is truly organic? While the dead internet theory might go into conspiracy territory, the overarching idea reflects real cultural concern about internet trends. Curious to learn more about this digital conspiracy?
Sorry, I got distracted during that video. There was a spider crawling on the windowsill next to my desk, but I couldn't get it because I was watching this video, and I looked away for a second, and I looked back, and it was gone. So now I'm going to have to burn my house down because I don't know where it went. Wish me luck. Send help.
Google's new AI Gemini had to be pulled off the shelf because it refused to generate images of white people. This was supposedly Elon Musk, Greek warriors who were of every other color except for Greek, the medieval king of England, maybe this guy might pass, Australian woman, okay, I'm Australian, but like a British woman. So it looks like Google's Gemini has overcorrected for diversity and trying to include everyone, even when it's not factually correct. The most interesting part was even when you confronted it and asked it to create a picture of a white couple, it still refused to generate an image. But if you change the wording to make a picture of a black couple, then let's see what happens. And magically, it will allow that. While this should have been checked by Google and their team, I get that they were trying to include everybody in it, but obviously it went the other way. And despite the obvious mistake, I want to leave you with one more thought. If these AI models have that bias, this one was an obvious one, but imagine if it was a subtle bias. Would we be able to detect it, or would it slowly become the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
It's actually a very good point. Not so much the whole white devil thing, but the More so just like if all of us are just now using ChatGPT as Google. I've been doing that. I have friends that do the same thing, right? It's just like you get like a clear, more concise answer without having to, hopefully click on the right link or something. So you figure if you're getting your answers from ChatGPT, when you ask it a question, using it basically as a search bar or search engine, it gives you an answer. If there's a bias to it or if it's incorrect, you're just going to assume that that's right? Because there's only one reference and it's just the answer it gives. At least if you Google something, you get like multiple choices, right? You can do some light research or even some heavy research, depending on the topic. If it's not one that's like too taboo and controversial, go to DuckDuckGo for that. But even on the other hand, if everyone is generating their articles and their research and basically having AI write all those blogs for them and those articles for them, or even sales pages for them, which is happening as well, those are going to have the same bias ingrained in them too. So there's really no way to get away from it. So you're always getting that bias if it's programmed in there. And being that the last couple of years, I mean, you can't really be denied that the media has pushed things in a certain direction when it comes to societal issues, race, gender, political issues. Like there's a very clear bias in trying to, corporate pandering to people, trying to, hit their company quota for, just having whatever the hell they needed to please a very loud minority of people on these topics. So if it's pulling this information from search engines that was written during the time at the height of like all this, like I'm too afraid to tell things like it is, or we're just like going to lean into this like political issue or this socioeconomic issue, or just any kind of topic or article or video or anything that has any sort of bias to it, that's going to train the AI. So it's not even that they're intentionally training the AI to have these biases. It's just like this information is out there, and like, does it even really have a way to filter, to like double check? Is it going to fact check everything? Is it going to look at the data of every bit of information it pulls when someone asks it a question? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it has those like lines of code like baked into it, right? I think it's just pulling information that it finds based on maybe just like the highest amount or even the most popular article. So scary stuff.
My mom showed me her Pinterest the other day, and it was almost entirely AI generated. The cakes and the clothing, she bakes and she sews, and she was finding recipes and patterns, but the cover photos for all of these articles were AI generated. And they were really good too. It was hard for me to tell. And then I asked her, like, which of these do you think is AI generated? They all were, but they were all so convincing that she didn't notice. Understandably, it was almost impossible for me to notice. This shit is scary. Like, it's improving at a rate that's difficult for me to keep up with, and I'm young. What are we gonna do in a few years?
Is 2025 going to be the year that the dead internet theory goes from conspiracy to reality? If you don't know what the dead internet theory is, don't worry, I'm gonna explain it. But first, some context of why it's something you'll probably be hearing a lot about this year. If you remember in 2023, Meta launched a celebrity lookalike AI chatbot, which allowed users to interact with alter ego versions of celebrities like Kendall Jenner, Tom Brady, and Paris Hilton, all who were paid millions for their likenesses. Overall, users were not super interested in this, so Meta quietly shut it down. Now, Meta is planning to introduce AI-generated users to platforms to enhance engagement. These AI characters are going to have bios and profile pictures, generating and sharing content similar to human users. This initiative is supposed to make interactions with AI more social, with hundreds of thousands of AI characters already created, primarily in the US. Meta is also planning to extend access to its AI studio globally, allowing users and influencers to create AI personas for more interactive experiences. Which brings me to the dead internet conspiracy theory. The dead internet theory is the idea that the internet is like a zombie movie, still moving, but most of the people you see are bots and not humans. It's the digital equivalent of a party where half the guests are cardboard cutouts and you're too polite to notice. Think about it. Every time you scroll, it's like the same generic content keeps reappearing. Viral tweets, TikToks, and YouTube comments that feel suspiciously similar. The theory suggests that corporations flooded the internet with bots to boost engagement, keeping the platforms looking busy and to sell more ads. It's not a dead internet per se, it's a fake one. Your memes, AI generated. That weirdly relatable TikTok crafted by your algorithms. Even your inbox spam about becoming a crypto millionaire might be part of this big masquerade. The internet isn't a global town square anymore. It's more like a Truman Show simulation where you're the star and everyone else is scripted with a bot army created to keep you clicking, scrolling, and occasionally yelling into the void while they rake in ad dollars. And with this latest news from Meta and their plans to create hundreds of thousands of these AI profiles, the dead internet theory becomes an actual reality. If AI profiles dominate the internet, trust in digital spaces could collapse entirely. Social media meant to connect us could become a stage play where corporations own the script, the actors, and even the audience. The internet wouldn't just feel fake, it would be fake. An endless loop of manufactured interactions designed to keep us scrolling while the real humans quietly log off.
We are so screwed, dude. Wait. It's already happening, and now they're just telling us they're doing it. It's already like flooded with bots. So what, now they're just like going to put like a little disclaimer like, oh, this is a bot website. It's a little check mark, for the bot accounts now. What do you mean to like boost engagement? I mean, that's scary enough. That's a scary enough thought that the idea that people would want to interact with fake people would get people interacting more and keep the platforms alive. It's like, oh, we're going to put a bunch of fake profiles, fake AI generated people, fake photos, fake everything. And that is going to boost engagement on the website. It's going to make more people want to be on the website because people want to talk to fake people more than they want to talk to real people. That's terrifying. We are so screwed.
Every one of you who has a phone in their hand should have a deep think about why they don't have removable batteries anymore. They tell us it's for better water resistance or to make your phone slimmer, but do you really believe that? Back then, you could just pop that sucker out, slap in your backup battery, and boom, you were back at 100. No power banks and no waiting around. They've made sure you can't ever do that again. Others say it's all about money, right? Because they want us to buy a new phone. But think about it, wouldn't they make more money selling backup batteries? The truth? The battery was the only thing you could control. Once you take away your ability to remove the battery, you can never really turn your phone off. Even if you hit that power button, it's still listening. How else do you think your phone switched itself on for the alarm? They needed a way to make sure we couldn't just cut the power. You pop that battery out, boom, no more tracking. So what do? They take away the option. And airplane mode, yeah, that's a joke. That's like trusting incognito mode to keep you safe from the CIA. And here's the kicker. This was always the plan from the start. Once they figured we weren't catching on, they went all in on non-removable batteries. It's the perfect system. And here's where it gets really freaky. Every phone company, and I mean every single one, made this change at the same time without exception. Think about that for a second. Not a single mainstream phone manufacturer lets you just pop out the battery anymore. None of them. It's like they all got the same memo at the same time. And the craziest part? Nobody questioned it. We just accepted it. Like sheep, we went along with the idea that it's just the next step in technology. Phones are getting better. Now, I'm not saying toss your phone out, but next time you stare deep into that camera lens, ask yourself, who's really on the other end?
Yeah, and computers the same way, right? You used to be able to take your computer battery out. Tablets, all that stuff. It's all the same now. I don't know what that video had to do with the dead internet theory. I just thought I'd throw it in there because it was interesting. Oh, man. Well, I think that we can all learn a valuable lesson from this, and that is that we should not take genuine human interaction for granted. We should talk to people every chance we get. And even if you're doing something that's not necessarily in person, right? Even if you're just talking to a friend, or like you're watching this video right now when I premiere it, hopefully, and you're talking to people in the chat, like those are real people. You know, that's the important stuff. Everything online is fabricated. Everything is fake. Even the realest of information and the most genuine piece of content is still just 100% fake in comparison to interacting with someone in person. So next time you're with your friends, next time you're with your family, put your phone down. Put your phone in your pocket. Put it on the table, face it downward, so you're not distracted by it every time it lights up with a notification from one of your social media apps that you're obsessed with. Because in 5 years, we might not know who's real and who's not. So let's just really take the time to appreciate the the very real connection that we have with one another. And that's why I'm so thankful for you guys. So thanks for watching. If you had fun today, you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, comment below what you want to see in the next video, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.